All right, you are now ready for step 5, which is the pre-writing stage. You have already read several different examples from the Time Magazine profiles, and you've read examples from students from last year, 7th graders. Your paper or your profile is going to be more similar to the 7th grade examples because those are organized in a way that hits on a lot of things that we're trying to teach you as writers and will match the scoring guide and hopefully get you an A on this paper as well as have a paper that honors somebody because you admire them. So for the pre-writing, it says below list characteristics and reasons for the one person that you would like to be writing about for your profile article. So this is the time where you actually have to pick one person to write about. You cannot pick your two best friends or your two aunts. You have to pick one person for the purpose of this writing assignment. And so what I would suggest that you do is go back to step 2, where you brainstormed a list of admirable characteristics and you brainstormed a list of people who show the admirable characteristics, and you need to pick one of them. I would suggest that you pick one that you really feel like you have a lot to say about that person. So I chose my sister, Jan. We have been very good friends for many years, even though we didn't always get along. But that's the one that I'm going to pick. So I'm going to keep her in mind as I move on to step 5. And I've already filled this out, so you don't have to sit and wait for me to fill the whole thing out. I put her name up here, Jan, my sister. One characteristic that really shows through from her is that she is very optimistic. And the other characteristic is that she is giving of herself and of her time. And then underneath, you have to show very specific examples of when that person showed that they were optimistic and giving. Sometimes I see students, they just say the same thing over and over. So they'll say, my sister's nice, and the details is she's nice because she's very kind to everyone, and she was always very, very nice. Well, that's not any specific, that's not an example. So I tried to brainstorm things that would show that she is optimistic. She has a known expression after hearing bad news. She'll always point out, here's the good news. Another thing, she finds humor in chaos. So when there's a time that everybody else is thinking it's a terrible situation, she thinks it's funny. And I have an example of when there was a dog pooping on her carpet. She shares the icky things in her own life to help you know that things are going to be okay because she got through it. And it always helps you look at the bright side of things. The other characteristic I have is she's very giving of herself and her time. And the 3 examples that I came up with is she took care of my mom as she was aging and took several trips to Iowa City, let her live with her the last 6 months of her life. She did an early morning one-on-one breakfast with each of her kids on their birthdays, and she just dropped everything and went to Iowa to help my niece move. So those are all the things that I could put in a piece of writing about my sister. So you're going to pick your one person, and you will do the same for step 5.